Hi everyone, it's Roger Kalia, Music Director of Symphony New Hampshire, and I would like to invite you to our upcoming live stream concert titled East Meets West, which is taking place on Friday, April 9th at 7:30 p.m. This is a unique and innovative program that combines Indian classical music and Western classical music from the United States. To purchase tickets for the live stream, please visit our website at symphonynh.org. We open the program with Rina Esmail's Tuttarana, which is a work composed for brass quintet. Rina, who is based in Los Angeles, has received commissions from orchestras and organizations from around the world over the past few years, and she is known for combining Indian Hindustani classical music with Western classical music. According to Rina, Tuttarana, the third movement of this piece, was commissioned by the Brass Project, a brass ensemble formed from graduates of the Curtis Institute of Music. It was originally a piece for women's choir. The title of this movement is a conglomeration of two words, the Italian word tutti, which means all or everyone, and the term Tirana, designates a specific Hindustani North Indian musical form whose closest Western counterpart is the scat in jazz. Made up of rhythmic syllables, a Tirana is the singer's chance to display agility and dexterity. While the brass version of this piece doesn't have the actual syllables that the vocal version does, it does aim to showcase the brilliant virtuosity of the ensemble. Rina goes on to explain that 3 years after I wrote this piece, the Me Too movement created by Tarana Burke broke on social media. It occurred to me that the title of this piece, if read a different way, literally means "We are all Tirana." I couldn't believe the incredible coincidence that this work, a powerful 3-minute tidal wave of sound, written for an all-female ensemble from the oldest women's college in the country, bore this name. If you'd like to become more familiar with this work, I encourage you to visit Rina's website and check out the recording of this piece. You can also explore Rina's other works, which are truly fantastic. The next work on our program is Lyric for Strings by the American composer George Walker. George Walker is internationally renowned and the first Black composer to earn a Pulitzer Prize in music for his work Lilacs in 1996. He died at the age of 96 in 2018. George Walker was astonishing for many reasons. He was the first of so many things. In addition to being the first Black composer to win the Pulitzer Prize, he was also the first Black soloist to play with the big orchestras during the 1940s in repertoire like the Brahms Second Piano Concerto or the Rachmaninoff Third Piano Concerto. By any measure, he was a magnificent composer who has been unjustly neglected. Composed in 1946, Lyric for Strings remains Walker's best known and most performed work. The piece was originally titled Lament and is dedicated to Walker's grandmother, who died the year prior. Walker was a graduate student at the Curtis Institute of Music at the time he composed the work. Similar in style and history to Barber's Adagio for Strings, Walker's work was originally the middle movement of a string quartet that proved so popular that the composer arranged it into a larger orchestral work. It is a beautiful and moving work full of emotion. You can hear how it goes in and out of happiness as if to remember all the sweet memories of the person and the sadness and longing for the person who you can no longer walk beside, in this case, George Walker's grandmother. The music is meditative and serene in the opening before building to a passionate and agitated climax during the middle section of the piece. The work ends with the strings peacefully fading away to nothing. We close out the evening with Aaron Copland's Appalachian Spring for 13 instruments. Aaron Copland was known as the father of American music, and his Appalachian Spring is a quintessential American classic. This is music that established as its vocabulary as representing the American sound. Composed in 1943, Copeland received a commission to write a new ballet for Martha Graham, and the ballet was premiered in 1944 at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. In accordance with the commission, Copeland scored the original ballet for a chamber ensemble of 13 instruments and called the piece Ballet for Martha while he was working on it. It wasn't until Copeland arrived in D.C. for the premiere when he learned the title that she had given the work, Appalachian Spring, which was inspired by a Hart Crane poem. The composer recalled how people would endlessly come up to him remarking that they saw the Appalachians and felt spring in the music, neither of which had been part of the original conception. He confessed, "I have even begun to see the Appalachians myself a bit." The score was a major success, and in 1945, Copeland received the Pulitzer Prize in Music. The American sound is displayed by Copeland's use of open and wide harmonies, which give the work a pastoral type of quality. There is also a sense of simplicity in terms of the singable and beautiful melodies that Copeland conveys. Copeland stated that in the mid-1930s, he was dissatisfied with the relationship between the public for cultivated music in America and the cultivated composer. The audience for specifically contemporary music had dissipated, and the general concert audience remained uninterested in new music. Rather than ignoring the new public, he felt that it was worth the effort to see if I couldn't say what I had to say in the simplest possible terms. Copeland explained that his simpler works were written in response to two basic stimuli, the Depression and the expansion of media. One of the most recognizable melodies in the work is the Shaker tune Simple Gifts, which Copeland quotes near the end of the work. According to the musicologist Howard Pollack, the entire score represents an absorption of the vernacular, suitable to a script so steeped in a wide range of American myth and folklore. It often gives the impression of folk music, so much so that listeners are often surprised to discover that it uses only one folk tune. It's an American masterpiece and one of my favorite works to conduct. In my opinion, the work projects optimism and empathy, and I look forward to sharing it with our wonderful audience. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing all of you virtually on Friday, April 9th at 7:30 p.m. Take care, everyone.